Hi everyone and welcome back. Recently we've published tutorials about how to build a responsive layout in general and how to add a block to your canvas in Designware. But today's video is going to be a little bit more specific and we're going to talk about how to align a nested block within a parent block in Designware. So it's not something that you're necessarily familiar with if you're used to building projects in templated builders or to design mockups in platforms that use absolute positioning. But it's actually quite simple, and as soon as you get it, you're going to save a crazy amount of time. So let's jump in. So what I really appreciate about Designware as a marketer is how much freedom I get. Nothing is hardwired and I can shape my page basically in whatever I want. And yet everything is still 100% responsive because of the built-in flex properties. But that means that I have to apply the correct layout settings. So let's have a look at the options that we have here. So first you have direction. This one is about how children are arranged next to each other. The one thing that's super important to keep in mind is that you always have to select the parent container to apply layout settings to its children element. So I've added some background color here and some borders to help you visualize the different blocks. So to select a block, you can either click on the block directly on the canvas, or you can select it on the page content menu on the left, or you can click on the children element inside it and hit escape. And then you apply the layout settings on the right hand side panel here. So here direction can either be in a row, meaning that the blocks within the gray containers are going to be placed next to each other, or it can be in a column, in which case it would be one above the other. Now, keep also in mind that if you want two elements to be placed next to each other, for instance, you need to make sure that there's enough room for it. So for example, in this case, the title box cannot be wider than 600 pixels. But if I remove the maximum width and let it be 100% of its parent container, now I don't see the button anymore because it's hidden here. So if something doesn't look right, remember to always check the sizing settings here, or to check the overflow and wrap settings, but I'll get back to that in a second. And then you have the alignment settings. So the first line is for horizontal alignment. It defines basically how children are placed within available horizontal space. So you have left align that pushes all children to the left. You have center align that pushes all children to the center. You have right align that pushes all children to the right. And then you have space between, which only works when your blocks are organized in a row, by the way. So this one evenly distributes all children within equal space between them. And then finally you have space around for rows only too, and that distributes all children with equal space around them. Then on this row you have vertical alignment, which is basically the same but for vertical space. So you have top align that pushes all children to the top, middle align pushes all children to the middle, bottom align pushes all children to the bottom, space between, same concept as the one we just saw before but for columns. So it distributes all the children with equal space between them at a vertical level, and then you have space around. And then below the alignment buttons, you have the overflow options. So those settings are here to define what happens if the combined sizes of all the children are larger than the size of the parents. And that's particularly powerful from a responsive design point of view, because that means that you get to make sure that your design is going to look exactly the way you want on any screen size without having to redesign for every screen size. So let's say I have a parent container with a maximum width of 1000 pixels, like this one. And then I have three cards here that are 350 pixels each with a 25 pixels padding on each side. So the total width of all the children here is 1200 pixels, which is larger than the maximum width of the parent container. And if you select clip and nothing else, it will cut off the overflowing content. But if you select wrap, the overflowing content will wrap instead. And it's the same if it overflows vertically. And you can also make the content scrollable both horizontally and vertically, including at the same time, although it's not necessarily something that we recommend. And if X or Y scroll is enabled, you can actually show the scroll bars here. And finally, if you've made your content wrap like this, you can also decide to make all elements automatically grow to fill all available space, just like this. And this comes particularly handy when you have an uneven number of elements, just like in this case, because it makes everything look way more balanced. So that's it for today. Next, we're going to tackle sizing units. So don't forget to hit subscribe to be notified when the next video drops. And if there's a topic that you would like us to cover, just let us know in the comment section. See you next time.